to Jake and Trev Review Everything Live. I'm Trev.
And I'm Jake.
Really? Wow. Well, you're joining us now. It's week 51, and here it's us, Jake and Trev, the Tonto and Lone Ranger of the reviewing world. Who's who? It's for you to decide. This week, we got a few things to talk about. I don't know any of them because I might as well be one of you guys right now. For those of you who are going to not have been watching this live, as I explained before the official broadcast, I'm freshly hypnotized. Cluck cluck. That's all you're getting from me.
Yeah. So we're starting a little late tonight, but a couple things I wanted to bring up. We have started the end of putting up we started putting up the abridged, the rest of the abridged, and we had a little bit of a kerfuffle.
We sure did, Jake.
Actually, it wasn't the abridged. It was on one of the regular episodes, but...
Yep, it was actually on Season 2, Episode 1/2, Jake, the second half of our trailer roundup that we started the second season with. And one of the movies that we talked about was The Hunger Games, Catching Fire. And we put up our the new sound edit because we had a couple of sound problems on it.
Yeah. There were a couple songs that we used that we thought were free that weren't free, so we had to.
So we removed them.
Go in and change those.
We had to do a little bit of fin-dangling in there, but we got it.
And then we put it up, and they were like, "Oh, you got flagged again."
And this time, it's because of Lionsgate Films, which owns Catching Fire. So you guys stole our property, and
it's covered under fair use. We're reviewing specifically the trailer,
correct,
which we used only part of. Well, obviously you don't want to sit up through a whole trailer while you're watching our show. So what we do is we cut it up into the relevant parts. If you haven't seen the trailer before, you at least get a piece of the trailer. And then we can start talking about it. Obviously, you can watch the trailer on your own. But the other big thing is that it's a free trailer. Like they might have a trailer ad. They might have an ad on the trailer before the trailer starts, which is stupid. I think that's dumb. But they're making money off.
Hey, you should watch.
I don't think anybody's had the thought in their head like, oh, let's go watch this review so we can watch a more cut down trailer.
Right.
It's dumb.
It doesn't do anything to affect their business other than the fact that we're reviewing it, and they can't seek they can't seek vengeance against us for reviewing it.
Well, see, we
didn't even say anything like super bad against it.
No. Well, the reason we got flagged is because, and if you're not familiar, YouTube has bots. And the bots go through all of your episodes of anything that you put on YouTube, even if it's personal videos. Even if you just have a radio going on in the background, they first go after audio. Audio is the biggest thing. And if the audio matches up with their audio, then you get a slap on the wrist and they say, oh, this is copyrighted. Well, we got 2 flags on the same part of the video. The first one being because it was audio from The Hunger Games Catching Fire, and the second one was because it was video. Because I imagine when they hear the audio with the bot tells another bot, like, hey, I heard some of this audio. You want to check to see if there's video there?
Oh, man, that's 2 different flags.
Boom. So
Double gotcha!
Yeah. So we're fighting it. They have a month to reply, which seems kind of weird. Like, it seems like it should be shorter, maybe? Especially because their bots just get to automatically do it. There's no human oversight.
Well, that's it. It's going to take them so long to actually sift through all of
It's going to take them so long to get a goddamn human in there to decide whether they want to litigate or not. So, hopefully they'll let us keep our episode up. If they don't, we'll just put a big fuck you Lionsgate right in the middle there so everybody knows. And we'll have to report that on our show on something. I'm sure we'll keep you updated.
Listen, Lionsgate, Jake and Trev.
We know you watch the show.
We have
obviously your robots do.
Right. We have our finger firmly on the pulse of what matters to Hollywood, to famous people in general, game developers, movie studio executives, creative people around the world. They're all watching this show.
Always.
And if you guys want to act like this, you know that literally everybody is going to know. That's the secret.
You look so stupid right now.
we may review everything, but everyone is watching us.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have those up, and you'll be able to watch the abridged versions as well. We have all the regular episodes up on YouTube, so don't go to Blip. You want to watch a regular episode, go to YouTube. The abridged isn't on Blip anyways. Don't go to Blip. YouTube / Jake and Trev Review. Or just look up Jake and Trev Review everything on YouTube. You'll find it. But, yeah, so let's jump into the news. We don't have anything from anybody here. The first Age of Ultron, I'll run you through this because I read this earlier, Trev. Yeah, this is just thankfully I read an article earlier. This isn't the thing. This is just a page that has Ultron on it. He looks kind of cool. He looks cooler than he did in the stills, the production stills.
Oh, with the puffy vest and everything.
Well, they're probably going to CG a bunch of Transformer shit all over him.
Probably.
Well, apparently, all right. This is kind of spoilery. We'll give you guys a second. I'll do this when we're done spoilering it. If you absolutely don't want to know anything about the next Avengers movie. Stop listening now. I'll throw up the sign. I hope that's not a gang sign.
It is.
That's a football gang sign for whatever. So basically what do you guys?
Nothing. Go.
Okay.
I was asking my wife to make coffee.
Oh, okay. All right.
And she apparently says there is no coffee.
Oh, okay. There's no coffee. All right. So Ultron is this time going to be created by Tony Stark. Tony Stark creates Ultron because S.H.I.E.L.D. has been destroyed, and the world doesn't have like a world police anymore.
Right, because S.H.I.E.L.D.'s gone.
A Team Avengers world police doesn't exist anymore. So the Avengers step up to take the place of S.H.I.E.L.D. to deal with all this shit. Well, Iron Man said that he quit. So now, instead of being Iron Man, he's decided to make a robot, voiced by James Spader.
Oh, yeah, Tony. That'll work great. Great job. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. I guess that's kind of like part of Iron Man's deal is like the whole hubris thing.
Yeah.
Like, he just refuses to acknowledge that maybe he's going too far with anything.
Yeah. He's gone too far.
So yeah, no, being the new creator of Ultron is the penance for that.
Yeah. So basically, so Ultron's created, becomes part of the Avengers, becomes greater than the Avengers, and then says, "Oh well, the problem that humanity has. Let me give you a second to guess."
Is it humanity?
Yeah.
Humanity is the problem.
Humanity is the problem, so Ultron goes bug nuts and decides that the only way to save people is by killing people, and obviously the Avengers have to step up and take care of that shit. But,
What a joke.
Alright, so we're done spoiling that. So that's Ultron. Yeah, so I don't know. It depends on how they tell the story, because the original Avengers really wasn't, that wasn't really a big thing. Loki steals the Cosmic Cube, decides to use it to open up a dimensional portal so aliens can take over the world. They stop that from happening. I mean, that's not exactly brain surgery. It's not. We're not talking about fucking. We're not talking about.
It wasn't a really complicated plot. It was the subplot that made it complicated.
Inception.
Oh, Inception.
We're not talking about Inception.
It's not a real, also from this Entertainment Weekly magazine, apparently Cap's going back to his classic Captain America.
No. Because this outfit, if you get a chance, look up the Entertainment Weekly cover. That's the Captain America, like what was the name of his group? The Secret Underground group.
Secret Avengers?
Secret's in the fucking title. Yeah, Secret Avengers. He starts his own Secret Avengers that's like Black Widow and whoever cares. That's his Secret Avengers outfit.
Oh.
Yeah, it shows a lot of similarity. Let's talk about that first. Can we talk about that for a second?
Let's talk about that for a second.
Costumes. Do costumes need to change every movie?
No. But apparently they do.
Yeah, I get it. God damn it. costumes need to change every movie apparently because it's like, oh well, this is a new movie, it's a new costume. I think Thor even got a new thing. It's like, what's Thor been doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, and it's funny too because most of Thor's costumes in the comics kind of suck. Like the only one, like I don't know, like the classic is pretty much as classic as it gets, and then everything else looks like some stupid fucking armor that you don't really want.
Well, I feel like they went for closer to, and obviously they've been doing this for most of the Avengers movies, the individual ones. I think they're going for more of a
Ultimate Avengers
feel, and that's what Thor's costume was basically.
Basically, sure.
Like he had like the. I don't know. There's not a huge difference between the. There kind of is. He doesn't wear a helmet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a big parallel between the Ultimates and the regular series. But yeah, do you need to? I mean, maybe that. Let's give it credit. Amazing Spider-Man 2. They use the same costume. You can't fuck up a Spider-Man costume.
Not true.
Really?
From Amazing Spider-Man to Amazing Spider-Man 2, totally different costume.
What?
Yeah.
At least I didn't notice. Maybe they shouldn't have put so much work into it.
Well, no, yeah. The Amazing Spider-Man costume was kind of more of a redesign.
I'll look this up.
It was actually, I would say, the Amazing Spider-Man costume was closer to Ben Reilly as Spider-Man's costume from that run in the Spider-Man comics where the Clone took over. And the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume was much more in line with classic traditional Spider-Man. Absolutely.
Oh, wow. I'm just looking at the difference here.
See? Classic Spider-Man.
Yeah. The blue is a lot less like dark blue.
Yeah.
It's a little more...
Plus all the lines are where they're supposed to be. On the Amazing Spider-Man costume...
this is the old Spider-Man costume.
Yeah, the lines don't look right. I don't know.
Well, this is the old one, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, but
I don't remember.
I know that they are different.
Okay. And that's all that's important. But yeah, why make a new Spider-Man? Why make a new Spider-Man outfit? He's got blue and red, and he's got eyes. I like the eyes. I noticed there was a difference in the eyes between the first and second Amazing Spider-Man.
Can we talk
about... The bigger eyes. You need bigger eyes.
Can we talk about the Iron Man 3 costume?
How it was total butts.
How it was total butts. I hated the color scheme on it.
Was it like gold and red?
Yeah, it was gold.
It was supposed to be like the...
it was sort of like a golden version of the Silver Centurion, sort of.
Yeah.
It was shitty. It was shitty. It looked shitty. And it goes back to my prevailing theory that, in fact, nobody on the project liked Iron Man armor at all. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with it. So yeah, that's kind of where that all is. Oh, there we go.
I might have to grab some of that after this beer.
Now who's got the coffee?
Apparently, Marvel has revealed that in their new... I think it's Marvel Now still. Isn't it still Marvel Now?
Yeah.
Apparently Marvel has made Thor a woman. That's fine. You know what? In the comic books, and this is something that people forget, is that in the comic books, Thor was just a dude who found a magical cane that when he struck the ground with it, it turned into Mjolnir, and then he became Thor, like he was embodied with the spirit of Thor. In the movies, he's just a dude. Like, Thor's just a dude.
He's literally just Thor.
Yeah, they make a joke about it in the first movie, because he wears, like, when he's breaking into the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility, he's got the name badge for Dr. Donald Blake, who was actually the alter ego of Thor in the comic books originally. But, yeah, if a woman got a hold of the stick and then became Thor, if she was worthy, you know...
Sure.
Yeah, I can see it.
I think it's important to note that this is not the first time What If Thor was a girl idea that we've seen from Marvel.
Well, they had Thor Girl. They literally have a character called Thor Girl.
Oh, that's good.
She was part of the...
that's terrible.
She's part of the Young Avengers.
That's just awful.
With Hulkling and... not Young Thor. What the... Hulkling... Thor Girl. What's fucking...
Iron Lad?
Iron Lad? Yeah, Iron Lad. Yeah, they had
the whole thing is like
they had a bunch of kid numbers.
Hey guys, guess what? That's DC's thing. Having younger versions of all your main characters. Yeah. That's DC's thing.
The only edgy thing they did in the book was I think Hulkling and who was the other dude? There were two like male characters that fell in love, which was actually pretty progressive for at the time, but it didn't help that the book just sucked balls to begin with.
Two male heroes fell in love?
Yeah, teenagers.
Yeah. Literally. See, that was a good use of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool that they threw that in there, but it didn't help the book.
But what I was talking about was Earth X. In the Earth X series, the alternate future of the Marvel Universe, Thor gets turned into a girl as punishment for his hubris by Odin.
Yeah, that's
due to like a big scheme by Loki.
Dude, here's the thing. Can I say this? I love Earth X and Planet X, or Earth X and Paradise X and all the X series of Marvel, like the What If universe kind of thing. It's really deep. It's really dark. It really makes you think about the characters and what if kind of deal. Like it's basically a series of what if books.
Right.
Like starting from like a certain point and then saying like, oh well, Wolverine was actually caveman and like all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Like there's a lot of weird stuff in it, but the point that you need to like the problem that I have with it is that it's so dense. That there's so many, I don't know how they did it. But they included, like, every character you could think of, and even ones that you never gave a shit about to begin with. They have, I mean, with the exception of a couple characters that you probably never heard of that were in, like, a one-off story with Spider-Man, like, Spectrum Top, or, the Mighty Elbow, or whoever the fuck it is, Right. Like, I imagine they had everybody in Earth X that you would know about. So the thing is that, like, with that, it was really hard to keep up with.
Sure.
Like, there were some main storylines that went on with it where it was like, Captain America's looking for this thing, and, something's going on in the afterlife, and then Reed Richards is doing this thing, and Franklin Richards, and it was hard to keep up with everything because they did have a lot of B-plots, like with Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine was like a huge B-plot, and he actually had two or three sections of the book that he was in, where they kept coming back to him, and it was kind of weird because it was like he's not doing anything in the story, and it was almost just like a punchline joke, really.
Well, there was Earth X, and then Universe X, and then Paradise X.
Right.
And in Earth X, basically Logan was retired.
Yeah,
he got all kind of.
He got paunchy.
Just
sitting around.
It's like he let his hair grow out, but he was also balding at the same time. And he was living with Jean Grey, and then she was like, "We should do something."
He's like,
"Whatever, bitch."
Yeah.
And it was
just a total dick. Whoever wrote Earth X hated Wolverine.
Hates Wolverine.
He absolutely hates
Wolverine. That's what I was kind of driving at. It's just like, you know what? Everyone thinks Wolverine's so fucking great. Oh, well, how about this?
Yeah. Well, they bring him back later on. Like, I think he actually gets into the swing of
in Universe X, he starts actually getting involved again. At the end of Earth X, I'm just going to ruin this for everyone, because you know what?
You should read it, but when you start reading it, you'll never remember anything we're saying about this, because, again, it's very dense. There's a lot of shit to keep up with.
But yeah, like eventually, Jean like has some bags and she's going to the door and he's like, "What are you doing, bitch?" And she's like, "I'm going because I can't live with you." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever, bitch. You'll be back." And she's like, "Yeah, whatever, Logan. And by the way, I was Madeline Pryor the whole time."
Yeah.
Oh, and she walks out on him, and then he has this like, "What?" Look on his face, and so, and that's only really relevant to people who really love X-Men anyway.
Yeah, my dad would get that one, but.
By the way, I was Madeline Pryor the whole time.
BT Dubs.
BT Dubs.
Oh, here's a big piece of movie news. 21st Century Fox said it made offers to combine with Time Warner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Hey guys, does anybody else feel like federal regulators to prevent monopolies from happening are largely falling asleep at the wheel?
This is just a friendly proposition, Trev.
Listen.
This isn't a monopoly.
I mean...
Yeah, not to get too political about it, but Rupert Murdoch if you want a case of a hand-wringing, like a Dr. Claw, or a Dr. No, or Rupert Murdoch's your guy. He's the real life equivalent. He owns 21st Century Fox. Apparently, they tried to purchase Warner Brothers.
Well, if they did, it would pretty much instantly create another super monolithic entertainment entity, not unlike Disney. But like Disney kind of like slowly accumulated over time, and then like in the last like 10, 15 years made some pretty big acquisitions, but none of those acquisitions were large enough on their own to be particularly concerning.
Yeah.
When Walt Disney's like, I want to buy Marvel, it's like, yeah, that could be big, but I mean that's not going to light the world on fire or anything. We bought ABC. Oh, well, you know, I mean, good on you. You know, I mean, it's like it's not
like
going to.
They're just slurping up everything.
But
if you buy the world in bits and pieces.
But Fox and Time Warner like combining into a single entity.
Well, Time Warner said fuck off, basically.
Right. Well, that's good.
They declined to pursue our proposal, and we are currently not in any discussions. So they were like, "Hey, Warner Brothers,
you wanna team up?"
Nope.
No.
I got the cold shoulder.
Well, good on them.
Yeah. So. That crisis averted. Although I think Movie Bob tweeted that he wants to see a crossover between Wolverine and Batman if that happens. I think that'd be kind of funny. But
I think it'd be gross.
Apparently, Universal Studios wants to bring back their old movie monsters. Get ready for Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman. I imagine there's a generation still around that appreciate those movies. But didn't we, like, these are the two movies that they're leading with. Van Helsing and The Mummy.
Wait, what?
Yep. The studio originally tasked Alex Kurtzman, who is a...
Well, that's not even, like, classic. That's, like... like, Van Helsing came out, like, 10 years ago. Okay, it's probably more than that at this
point. Well, the character came out, you know...
yeah,
so they're owned by Universal.
I am not personally aware, and if this is a thing, please correct me, guys, but I'm not personally aware of Van Helsing having, like, his own standalone, like, book or like, classic Universal movie. Like, they made the... But to, like, reboot that, and then also the other one they want to start up this reboot thing is The Mummy. Oh, you mean that other Universal movie that was successfully rebooted back like, 10, 15 years ago with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, and they didn't even... That was just like...
That was such a departure from what The Mummy...
Entirely different.
Was?
Entirely different.
This one's going back to its roots.
Yeah.
It's going to be lots of, like, piano music and, like,
God. See, yeah, that's...
And then there's going to be, like, a woman, like, terrified in the middle of, like, a dark, like, catacomb, and then she's going to, like, feel a hand on her shoulder, and she's going to be like, oh, Reed! And then the mummy's going to come around, and it's going to be like, ba, 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 and she's like, ah! That's what they're going to do, and it sucks.
And here's the problem.
Sucks.
If you think that taking characters like the Mummy, Wolfman, Dracula, all that stuff, and bringing them back is going to work, ask the horror film makers that tried to bring back Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, most recently Chucky. There are a lot of 80s and 90s, mostly 80s, some early 90s horror stars that they've been... Evil Dead. We did a review of Evil Dead. And, it wasn't bad. But I enjoyed it, but I don't think that like launched another. Nobody was like, yeah, Evil Dead 2. Like, if you think that if you look at those movies and see how those reboots did, which was piss poor, you really think bringing back Frankenstein and the Wolfman and Dracula and the Mummy. You think that's gonna... I get it. Like, if you go to the Universal theme park, there's some dude in a Frankenstein costume like, this is our original property, like... No.
I'd like to see all those guys like walking around with a big like copyright mark, as
in the circle,
like a what's his name?
Like a clock.
Yeah, like
Flavor Flav,
like a Flavor Flav clock.
Yeah.
It's like, but like
copyright.
Frankenstein's monster.
boy. But yeah, they're not going to get anywhere with that.
No.
Why? Why would you do that? Yeah, that's not news. I thought there was news in there. Oh, also not news. I'll talk about that at a later date.
Oh, you don't want to talk about season 6 of Community Check?
I don't know. Well, no strings attached now, but they already lost. I mean, the show was developed for 3 seasons. Actually, 3.5. I'd say 3.5 seasons, because there were ones that didn't have Chevy Chase in them. Mm-hmm. Because Chevy Chase was like, I'm only doing half a season. So you would notice where it was like, his Pierce is gone for this episode, I guess. Whatever. Yeah, who cares? But his character leaving and Donald Glover leaving, the show's not the same show anymore. Even if you got the old director back, now they're doing the 6th season and a movie with Yahoo, and you know what? I'll watch it. I'm curious to see where it goes from here. History will decide whether it's a good move or not. But I mean, having unfettered, they're not going to have any standards. I feel like if Yahoo didn't have it on on par with Netflix, like you can say whatever the fuck you want, like the word fuck, then eventually it's right around the corner there. But
no, it's fine, whatever.
It's right next to the computer.
I got it.
But if you if you take all of the fetters off, like obviously, that show had to be under wraps to be a network show. So if it goes nuts, it might just be kind of ridiculous.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't even know at this point.
Oh, you guys don't need that?
No. That looked like it could have been news.
What's that? No, yeah, I was going to go back to that. I just wanted to check the chat. Poesy says about Spider-Man. Did he just go to the local seamstress and be like, I should look nothing like a spider?
Probably.
My dad says, bring on Beta Ray Bill. Maybe. We have Guardians of the Galaxy now. If Beta Ray Bill throws down with Thor in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or something, I'd be for that. Poesy says, and M. Night Shyamalan will direct them. Now that's horror. Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan's The Mummy. It turns out we were the mummies the entire time.
What?
Knights of Sidonia? Are you talking about a thing that you know about?
I don't know what a Knights of Sidonia are.
I don't know. That sounds like a song by one of those joke bands. Not joke bands, like theme bands. We all of our songs tell a story about stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, stuff that's important.
It's about a boy and a girl, and they're in a different world, and they have a different language. Mm-hmm. I can't even remember that band. Whatever. Yeah, Joel Silver is still developing Lethal Weapon reboot. And this is the interesting thing, because I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know if you have.
Hold on. I want this to be one sentence that is only regarding one subject. Joel Silver still developing Lethal Weapon reboot, Matrix 4.
Oh, that's a terrible headline. So the Lethal Weapon reboot is actually Matrix 4.
Oh my god.
What? I would go see that movie on principle, just because it would be fucking awful.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
No, you're not. You're the same age. You're in a pod.
What?
We have to unhook you. So that's how I was surviving all of those shootouts.
Yeah.
It was a construct in the Matrix.
None of those bullets were real, bro.
So Matrix 4... What? Listen, the Matrix 1 was the perfect Matrix movie. It had everything you could want from a Matrix movie because it was the first fucking Matrix. Mm-hmm. Then the second one came along and it was like, this is better than the first Matrix. And it was like,
no, it's not.
Some of the action was interesting, but your philosophy was like audience member. Like, maybe if I sat down and watched the trilogy again, I'd probably catch more of it. Mm-hmm. But like a 14-year-old me or 15-year-old me seeing like the second and third movies in the theater... What are you talking about? Somebody kicked someone in the head already!
There was some real turbulence on Matrix 2. I'll just call it that. I don't even respect
Matrix 2, turbulence.
But everything went completely off the rails in the third movie. What a nightmare.
Yeah. And then he becomes blind magic Jesus.
Do you think M. Night Shyamalan like ghost directed like some scenes there? Because it was like at the end of the Matrix 2 where it's like Neo's like, oh fucking we're in bad shape, Trinity, oh I gotta save Trinity, and then he looks at those fucking the Sentinels, the Sentinel, I believe they were called that also, the machines in the real world.
Yeah.
That like coming after him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all about to like kill him. The Squiddies, they were all about to kill him. And then he's like, and they actually like blow up. Like he has real Matrix.
There are theories that even the underground part, like the real world, is also the Matrix. Like both layers. It's like Inception. Like
it's a way to trick humans who have enough gall to escape the Matrix and to not actually escaping the Matrix.
So it's actually a simulation of you being unplugged from the Matrix.
So what's the real world like?
I don't know. It's probably awesome. It's probably Candyland. That's Candyland.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, machines were running it, dude. So like, why would it be like a blasted hellscape? You'd think they'd be like fucking unicorn parties and shit.
I mean, I get that the machines can't like monitor your mind or whatever. Like they're not good at it. Like that's why they have the Matrix. It's basically like a mind daycare while everybody's being used as batteries. Mm-hmm. But they can't be so bad as to not know when people are like basically just fucking leaving the thing.
Right.
Like they're robots, right? They spent years and years perfecting this.
That does kind of hold
like
water.
They're so shitty that
because when Neo woke up from the Matrix in that pod, then a Sentinel came up to him and was like, "What's going on here, bro? Oh, don't worry about it."
Yeah, it didn't kill him or anything. He just got flushed down a tube. So assumedly, obviously, he probably would have died there on his own.
Right.
But the Matrix knows that there's a resistance. So when they immediately adapt by putting a safeguard in, okay, well, before, when people died or unplugged or whatever, then we just flushed them down the toilet and they just died because their muscles were atrophied, they didn't know how to walk or whatever. They just drowned in the sewer or whatever.
Right.
But then eventually people started picking them up in their fucking underground spaceships. And then the Matrix must have known that. At some point, people started plugging back in. The minute Neo plugged back in, they were probably like, wait, what? Didn't we just flush this guy? He's back again?
This is bullshit. Anime series. The Knights of Sidonia is apparently an anime series.
Interesting.
And Twice also writes, no, the real world is the Lego movie. Everything is awesome!
Everything is cool when you're trapped in a machine.
That's a good one. I like that.
But yeah, Joel Silver, go fuck yourself. All right. When we know you watch. So.
Saturday Night Live loses 3 more cast members. I understand they actually specifically fired the one.
They fired 2.
They fired 2 of them.
They fired the first 2, which are let's see, Brooks Wheelan and. He was fired from the show.
Yeah.
And then... Wait, what?
Let's see. NBC has chosen not to renew contracts to newcomers Noel Wells and
John Milheiser.
Well, Nassim Pedrad, who appeared on the show for 5 seasons, is leaving to co-star in the new Fox comedy Mulaney.
She's really funny, too. The other 2 weren't bad, but they didn't really have, their own voice or whatever, but yeah.
And so it usually trims a cast member or 2 before its fall premiere, so the terminations aren't a big surprise. The newcomers, the news comes after Brooks Wheelan, a first-year cast member, announced on Tuesday, or on Twitter on Monday, that he was fired from the show.
Wait, now he was fired. They didn't wait for... There's a difference between not renewing a contract and being fired, though.
Yeah.
I'd like to read more into that, I think. But yeah, Nassim Pedrad was...
Can I tell you a funny thing, though, that the internet did about that?
What's that?
There was an article, the article that I read that I learned about Brooks Wheelan being fired from the show.
Uh-huh.
also featured a video from an SNL episode to illustrate who Brooks Wheelan is.
Uh-huh.
And the one they chose was the Celebrity Jeopardy episode with Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake, where he played himself, and the joke was, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
That's sick. That's kind of sick. Like,
but they don't do okay. I don't know if it's the writers. Like, I watch SNL pretty regularly. I feel like
can I voice an unpopular opinion?
Sure.
I think it's time for SNL to go. And maybe it can rise gloriously from the ashes in a few years, but I think it's time to go. I refuse to believe in this whole institution thing, like it's just been going on so long that now it just gets a pass every year.
I don't know. If you look at the track record of SNL, they've not, like, even in the years where people were like, oh, this SNL sucks, the old SNL was cool, because that happens every time, but the young people are watching SNL. Mm-hmm. There are probably a few tears shed for these people, from people that are younger than us, because we're not exactly spring chicken. But in actuality, the real deal is like, everybody says that every time. And every time there's a new cast, people get pissed off about it, but then eventually they make their own way. They make it funny. I mean, people used to make fun of Jimmy Fallon relentlessly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, he's the unfunny SNL guy. Oh, guess what? He's hosting the goddamn Tonight Show now.
Well, I do remember that there was, and this is, I think, possibly the last time that Family Guy was actually funny. They pointed out that Jimmy Fallon is always the guy who is breaking in the middle of a scene on SNL and always laughing at his own shenanigans or somebody else's.
I feel like in that time period, though, even Will Ferrell broke. And Will Ferrell's, like, notorious for staying in character.
Right. That's true. There's a lot of breaking in that time.
Yeah, and I think I think if that's something that they needed to do to kind of get it up to boner level, getting it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, I heard you. Oh, I got it.
But no, I think that, in this generation at least, I think maybe the problem is, and I disagree, I think that SNL should be an institution, because even if you don't think it's good, then somebody else is thinking it's good. And it's also really easy, I don't want to say easy, it's a way for actors and actresses to break into the business, because once you've been on SNL for a couple of years, you have enough recognition for the most part. Obviously not now, but there are a lot of people that go out and make movies and make their own way. It's a good launch pad for a lot of people. Sure. There's not anything like it right now, But I think what they need to stop doing is focusing so much on their guest stars. It used to be that you would have like a host who, obviously they're in some of the skits and sketches and things like that. You have somebody that's not like, it's usually a mix. You have people that used to be in SNL, you have people that are in acting or movies or comedy, so they know what they're doing, but then you have people that have like no fucking idea. Like even those are funny in their own right, because they just don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Like they forget their lines, or you can tell that they're not very good at acting. It's usually like public figures or sports players or whatever, But I feel like they're relying too much on well-known like comedy people. Mm-hmm. And I feel like what's happening is they're coming in, stealing the spotlight, and nobody's gotten a chance within the last, 20 episodes that I've seen to really establish like a funny character. Because that's another thing about SNL, is creating a character that usually with a catchphrase or something that people remember.
There is the only character that I could sort of identify as a character. There's two. Bobby Monahan's Guy Fieri impression, but he's just being Guy Fieri, so it's not like a character. And then Jay Farrow does a beleaguered high school principal.
Oh yeah. Attention teachers and students.
Yeah. That guy. That's very funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And actually, Jay Farrow's really good at impressions, like crazy good at impressions.
Yeah. I think I've seen him do like an Eddie
Jay-Z
Murphy
really well.
He did an Eddie
Murphy
one that was just off the chain.
Like he's just really good. And Yeah, no, Bobby Moynihan does another character that I thought was kind of funny, but they tried to stretch it into a character. It was like one sketch where he's I think he's in space, and he's talking about his kitty cat.
Oh.
And he's got like this whole character around like talking about his kitty cat. And it was kind of funny, but then they did like one or two more sketches, and it was like, you can't, there's not a lot of funny in here, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And, you know, it's trial and error. You're not going to get it first time.
Well, sure. You know, I mean, you have to try it out. You have to be willing to try different things. I mean, but I don't know. I remember a lot of different characters from back in the day, like Opera Man. You know,
yeah.
Like, I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, there are.
Yeah, nobody remembers Opera Man. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we do because, you know, but.
But, you know, another one that comes to mind is Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. You remember Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I guess most of these characters kind of get built up around a single joke. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer's whole joke was that he was actually a really elegant and talented lawyer who would constantly use the fact that he was a caveman as some sort of crutch to give him an edge in the courtroom, even though he totally didn't need it.
Yeah.
Oh, Your Honor, I'm just so confused by the giant metal bird that took me here today. You know, it's a plane. You know,
Yeah.
and they like show him on the plane, and he's like, and he says, "Can I get another? I need another scotch." And then the waitress is like, "Sir, you've already reached the limit. I'm not allowed to serve you anymore." But stewardess, my Neanderthal brain is confused. You know, like just constantly arguing to get a fucking backdoor entrance to anywhere.
Yeah.
Because he was a caveman. You know, that's kind of funny, but I mean, really, it's the same joke. I guess it's a question of how many ways can you permutate one joke and still kind of make it funny.
Yeah. And usually
like Stefan. Stefan, Bill Hader's character that was always
because
on.
he always had like a hilarious description every week, though.
Right.
Like that was new material every time. Like his whole joke was like breaking. Another thing, like he would always do this because everything he said was so hilarious that it was hard not to laugh at.
Right.
So he'd just be sitting there like laughing into his hands. But yeah, he would be like, oh, you know, the place to go is this place because they have you know, two men on top of each other dressed up like the Statue of Liberty in a kiddie pool full of, you know, pudding.
Right. Ridiculous descriptions of what was happening in the club.
And it was the name of the club then. It was always great.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you really like clubs, you should go to... you know, like, that's the name of the club.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, so you know, he had that going for him. But yeah, it's not, there's no magic formula to have a good cast. And,
No.
You know... Yeah, people's got to go. I'm sure they'll do fine, though. I'm sure it'll be like 20 years from now. They'll just be fucking great, you know?
Yeah, they probably won't be they probably won't be like a Victoria Jackson. Exactly!
Again, every week there is a new thing about this, and I feel like they're just rubbing it in at this point. Guillermo del Toro says Hellboy 3 is not going to happen.
I don't think it will happen, is what he said, Jake.
Yeah.
Let's not misquote Mr. Del Toro.
He said it looks like Hellboy 3.
Is nothing more than a pipe dream.
It would be sweet.
Would it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would it?
I liked 1 and 2.
Really? You like 2?
You know another thing that might not happen.
You know who liked 2? Seth MacFarlane liked 2.
Oh God, I'm sure he liked
with
it
his
when he
German
was
farts and
I am a ghost man.
I am
He's
a German ghost man, and I am a ghost.
You know what? Now that you mention it, yes, the Hellboy 1 and 2 taken as movies are really good, but the characters that were portrayed in both movies, there's so much. It's really about the rich history. The ironic thing is that Hellboy is about characters that dig through old artifacts and scrolls and information and folklore and things like that. They find the most obscure things and weird shit that's happening around the world. And the Hellboy, the movie, wanted to be like in your face, like all or nothing. You know, like we have to beat this bad guy or he'll blow up the world. And in Hellboy, it's mostly like demons that are hanging around a specific area that are killing people. That are like, well, we have to kill people because we're those demons.
Man, wouldn't it be nice just to have like a movie where the stakes were like a neighborhood?
Yeah.
You know?
Does it have to be the goddamn universe every time? But yeah, in the story, like Hellboy would show up at a village, and there would be like some sort of ghost that was stealing people's souls, and the ghost would be like, "Listen, Hellboy, like I have to steal people's souls, or else I'll cease to exist." And Hellboy's like, "Yeah, but I gotta side on the side of humans, so I gotta take you out." The ghost isn't like, "I'm holding the world hostage,"
Right.
So, and I get that blockbuster movies, that's exactly what they are. They have to do that, but you lose something even with the characters themselves, because Hellboy is a story in the comics told over like 80 years. Like every time you see him in the comics, it's never in like a sequential order. It's always like, this is a story where Hellboy was hanging out in the 50s in this place,
right.
or this is a story where Hellboy is doing something in the modern day because he's Hellboy. He's fucking old, but
he noodles around in
But in the movies, it's like, oh, it's a super team because Johann Kraus has a really sad backstory, and they like hint at it for 2 seconds in the movie.
Oh, the Clockwork Man?
Johann Kraus, the Ghost Man.
Oh, the Ghost Man. Yeah.
No, not.
I was thinking about that totally sick Clockwork guy from the first movie.
No, wait, is it?
Probably not. We'll figure it out.
I know who you're talking about.
But
yeah, the dude with the blades, the Clockwork Baraka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where he shows up in Professor Trevor Broom's fucking study, and
then he's just
Professor Broom's like, "I see the puppet. Where is the puppet master?"
Yeah.
And then Rasputin's like,
"Yeah, I'm gonna blow up the world." But yeah. So I mean, I guess it could be good, but obviously they're not going to make another one, which is disappointing. So, but here's another thing that might not get made: a new Star Trek series. You know what it's called? We talked about this a while, and it was supposed to be a Star Trek series where Worf is the captain of like a ship.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Can you guess what the show is tentatively called right now? I hope they change this name.
I wish I hadn't just read it, because that was basically the really lame suggestion I was going to offer.
What are they going to call it, Captain Worf?
Yeah, Star Trek, Captain Worf.
Really, Captain Worf? They couldn't call it like Star Trek: A New Dawn or something? Like that would be. I guess that's Twilight, but. They could do something like that.
They could do something.
People know how to make.
How about they name the ship, or name the show after the ship? They'll like come up with some kind of cool sounding like name for the ship, and then it'll be like say for example, the name of the ship was the
USS.
I'm trying to think of like an awesome, like manly, like tough quality.
Mulder? The USS Mulder.
Sure, I guess.
The USS Odin. I could see that. That would be sweet.
Oh, the USS Conviction.
Or the USS Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, see that nobody will greenlight that. But yeah, but if it was it would be like Star Trek Conviction.
Wait, what was the name of the ship on Firefly?
Serenity.
What was the name of the ship in The Matrix?
The Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, see, they went with that. Okay, that's my example.
Okay, where it's a really hard to pronounce name if you
like
haven't
King
already heard somebody.
Like,
yeah.
It's if you look at it, I mean, I was young when that first movie came out, so I was like, wait, what? New Cat Bowser.
New Cat Bowser.
New Cat Bowser.
It's the Matrix ship, the New Cat Bowser. That's good, Jake. I like that.
But yeah,
Jake is making me laugh tonight.
But yeah, Captain Worf. No.
Also, I literally don't ever want to see Michael Dorn outside of his makeup. I'm sorry, Michael Dorn. I literally
look at it.
No, I don't.
You look at it and see.
He looks like somebody's dad.
He does. He looks like the captain from was it Deep Space Nine?
He's got like looks like he's got like a baseball jersey on and like a backwards cap.
Which really dates you at this point.
And he's got some
backwards cap.
He's got some like chunky hipster glasses. Like I don't know.
Sounds disappointing.
It's massively disappointing. Michael Dorn, you will always, and I know you're watching, so just listen up.
Yeah,
You will always have that magnificent fucking forehead ridge in my head, sir.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here's another piece of news here. Uma Thurman is this headline was so misleading. I read this article. This is from Variety.
Wow, this is really potentially hugely misleading. Uma Thurman to bring Pulp Fiction back to life through auction.
No.
Was she gonna?
She's gonna have She's gonna auction off having a private screening of it with her and some friends, or with her, a fan, and 55 of the fan's closest friends, and then afterward they're gonna have cocktails and talk about it.
Well, they're gonna have $5.
That's not bringing Pulp Fiction back to life.
No.
Are they gonna reenact it while they're having cocktails? Is it gonna be at goddamn Jackrabbit Slim's?
No.
They're gonna be sitting in cars and
Eric Stoltz
goddamn $5 milkshakes.
Eric Stoltz is gonna be sitting there telling you he's got the Cadillac of heroin, trying to sell it to you. This is for people who know the difference. Okay. Because
that was more Tarantino.
Yeah, but he's writing every line, so you have to read every line in Tarantino's voice first.
I want Tarantino to. That's a really good idea. I want Tarantino to take a script from one of his all of his movies and read them. How would Tarantino read these lines?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Quentin, get on that.
Yeah, stop being a baby about the goddamn
why
Super 8 or whatever it's called.
What's your problem?
Magnificent 9.
Okay, let's see.
But yeah, she's apparently she's using the auction to raise money for an organization called Room to Grow, which is enriching the first 3 years of babies born in poverty.
Oh.
I ain't mad at that. That's not, it's not like an anti-vax fucking, organization or anything.
No, these people are getting a handout.
Apparently the bid was at $8,500. Now here's the thing. Let me point this out. If you win the auction, you get it. You get to go to the private screening, and you get to bring 55 close friends. Why wouldn't 56 people just get together and pool their money on this auction?
That does seem like a lot of people to be, and also an oddly specific and not totally
just
rounded.
55. Is that how Tarantino's personal theater is?
Right? No, why 55? 50 makes a lot more sense. 50 is a good
one
round.
fan and 50 of your friends.
It's a nice round psychological number. It makes total sense. And then with somebody that's not enough. If I were to auction, I'd have to cut 5 of my closest friends out of the list. I'm just saying,
I don't know if I'm not trying to sound sad or anything, but I don't know 55 people to bring to an event like that. Could you seriously? I mean, I guess I could go through my Facebook list and order from first to last who is going to go with me.
In terms of who do I talk to the most, at least.
Yeah.
Congratulations, person that I went to high school with for 3 years.
And occasionally updates me on what's happening.
You are apparently the person I talked to. You're number 55. You beat out someone I was in grade school with and got into a soccer fight with. You beat him out, so you get to go on this trip with me.
You get to go on this trip. Number 55 with a bullet. Congratulations, you're going to go see Pulp Fiction. What if somebody canceled? If you paid, there's a good chance this is going to be in the tens of thousands, right? Mm-hmm. What if you won it and you invited 55 people and then people canceled? You would be listen, motherfucker, I just paid $50,000 for this thing. You're going.
Yeah,
you're
this
going.
is a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't really like that movie. What?
Are you fucking kidding me? No, you're fucking going.
No, see, now you're not number 55. Now you're fucking on the bottom of the list.
Yeah. You're off the list.
Don't like Pulp Fiction.
Out of touch.
That person, out of touch, out of time, out of office. Off the list.
That was a weird...
It's like maybe is that like a really wet
Like
throat
maybe-
slitting? Like he was like drinking a glass of water.
I was
And
just crossing their name off the list.
Oh.
I was like murdering them.
I'm blaming hypnosis. I'm a much more violent
were they
person than I used to be.
Trevor is now the next Manchurian candidate.
Nobody. Everyone, be careful not to accidentally play any
Butter duck.
Oh shit. Nobody say
That's the word.
Nobody say
That's
any
the killer
nonsensical
word.
words
Yeah.
or asymmetric musical tones.
Oh fuck! God damn it! Well, he killed the side of a desk. That's.
What would this do even? Like, is it?
It's got safety nubs on it.
Hold on.
Just start popping them up. Hold on, just stay right there.
Don't move.
Don't move.
I got business with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
Wow.
Freddy. God, there's a lot of. You guys, okay. I'm not being a dick, but try to form your stuff in like a full format.
Yeah, because we
don't
aren't
see these in
constantly
time.
looking at it, and it's not in time and everything.
All I see is Freddy Krueger reboot by Rob Zombie. No, Rob Zombie did the. I mean, I can try to decipher this. Rob Zombie did the Halloween reboot, not the Freddy Krueger reboot. The Freddy Krueger reboot sucked, which sucked because Jackie Earle Haley is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was really hoping he was going to totally kill that, and it was kind of like a shallower interpretation of the villain.
It was like really obvious. I think making your goddamn serial killer more mysterious might help you in
Just
a
the
scary
thought.
movie.
Just the thought.
But they just completely these are the origins because superhero movies have origin stories. Why don't fucking monster movies? Why don't fucking monster movies? Because they're mysterious. That's why. Easiest answer. My dad also says the U.S. Nagelfar 1822.
Well, the USS Enterprise is like the NC-17 00 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
NC-17.
1822.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's the NC-17.
NC. It's certainly it's the
NCC.
NCC 1700. I think is the.
No, I don't think it's the 17. I
Okay,
think it's just
Todd, can you tell me what the designation of the Enterprise is? Don't ruin it for your dad.
Well, I looked it up. I know.
Okay, it's yeah.
But yeah. Poetasy says Drop Dead Fred is getting a reboot.
What?
That was a weird fucking
Drop
movie to
Dead
begin with.
Fred.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're going to be telling me that there's going to be a Cloak and Dagger reboot.
I'd watch it. I mean, we'd have to. We're contractually obligated to do that. So.
Only if Dabney Coleman's involved.
I just don't like it.
On Drexel's class.
And then my dad says, "You guys are making me want to watch Christopher Walken dance again." Well, if you walk without rhythm, you won't attract the worm. So.
Oh wow, wow. That's a blast from the past. Okay, guess what, Todd? You don't have time to answer because you took too long, bud.
Oh!
I'm sorry. It's the NCC 1701.
Yeah,
is that correct?
1701.
1701 is the.
It's only for audiences that are 1701 years or older.
So, no one then.
It's
Q can watch it.
Yeah, Q can.
Q can watch it.
Well, technically, Q doesn't have an age.
He's a fifth dimensional being. No, he's beyond time and
What do you
space.
want me to say? I'm sorry.
I don't care what fifth dimensional beings try to tell you. Time is not, it's not like an undulating snake man.
It is.
It's a
It is an
line.
undulating snake man.
It's a line. It's a line that progresses from one side to another.
Nope, snake man.
No, I don't buy
He
it.
says line, I say snake man. We should.
What do you guys think? Is time a line or a snake man? You decide.
Depends on how you travel it.
It's a snake man.
Trevor, the doctor, okay? The doctor.
The doctor.
Well, it's
the doctor believes it's the snake man.
Okay, the doctor believes it's a timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly.
That sounds a little snaky to me.
That sounds a little snake man to me.
Oh, really? So now, like, my best friend and my wife are going to team up on me? Great.
Only when you're wrong.
Great. Glad I can count on all the support, guys.
All right, well, that's about an hour. Thanks for everybody for sticking around. I know it's 45 minutes past when we usually get done, but yeah, you know.
It was the hypnotist.
You got it. Yeah, the 1701 is the numerical designation for the USS Enterprise.
It is. What is? I don't know what the designation
I don't
is
know
for
why.
the German gun.
I don't know. Really, you're the captain. You should probably know that.
I don't know that, dude. I have a number 2 and somebody who's in engineering. Who's my dad. He's not even chief engineer.
Do you realize
it's
that
a Galaxy class starship and there's nobody on it?
Do you realize that your private fantasy of being the captain of the Jorman gun with me as your first mate and your dad as the guy in engineering is sort of like American Star Trek version of Red Dwarf?
Pretty much.
It's pretty much that.
It's a giant fucking ship that's supposed to house like a bajillion people.
And there's only 3 of us.
You know how many times shit has gone wrong on that ship in like just Next Generation alone?
Lots.
Like where it's like, oh, we got hit by particles and now our ship is a baby. Like
all the damn time. Okay, but like Jake was saying, sorry for being so late, you guys, but we really appreciate you hanging out as always. Hopefully, we gave you a laugh or two, and if not, fuck you, go somewhere else. No, see, it's that hypnosis. I'm so angry.
Oh, geez, settle down. Settle down before you apple bird. All right.
Murderous silly walks.
Yeah.
In any case, thanks for watching the show, you guys. It's been great. We'll see you next week.
Wait, hold on. For J&TRE review, I'm staying live on Jake.
Yeah, that was the last part. That's when we. Wow. You're just rewriting the rule book, huh?
Wait, but that's how we do it, right?
Yes.
But you didn't do it.
I was doing it. It's been great, you guys. Thanks a lot for Jake and Trevor. I'm Jake. I'm Trev. Good night. Like that. See, that's how it's done. So, for Jake and Trevor Review Everything,